Right now on Fox 35 News at 10, election night is here and the stakes are high.
It's an exciting night.
Fox 35 has live team coverage with every angle covered.
Every race.
Every result.
From statewide races all the way to the Democratic National Convention. This is your election headquarters as we pave the way to November. We start with breaking news on this primary election night. Election offices around the state are having troubles reporting vote totals to their county websites.
And Fox 35's Hannah McKenzie is joining us live from the Election Alert Center right now. So, Hannah, are we seeing any problems here in Central Florida?
Well, Luann, John, yes. Here in Central Florida, Brevard and Lake counties are seeing issues. According to their superintendent of elections offices, like others across the state, they too are having problems. But they've got backup links on their websites and social media pages so folks can still access results. It was actually the Osceola County Supervisor of Elections, Mary Jane Arrington, who posted about this issue on X earlier tonight. Arrington writing, the majority of Supervisor of Elections websites throughout the state are down. The website host is working to correct this issue. We have been calling around, and so far, those are the only 2 Central Florida counties being impacted. They did tell us, though, the issue is not slowing things down too much. We also confirmed that Palm Beach and Sarasota counties are having what they are calling technical difficulties with traffic to their websites as well. At about 8:30 tonight, a spokesperson for the Secretary of State's office insisted this is not a problem at the state level, and instead some counties are having problems with a vendor that they use to back up their websites.
We are aware that some counties are having issues with their websites communicating with VR systems. We have offered our support to help supervisors with their issue with their vendor. This is not an issue with the systems at the Florida Department of State. Let me repeat, this is not an issue with the Florida Department of State and in no way impacts FloridaElectionWatch.gov. All of the information and vote tallies were timely reported to the Department of State.
Again, though, these issues are not creating too much of a headache, and we are told there is no indication of a cyber attack here. We are also learning tonight, though, statewide voter turnout was around 19%. That is lower than the last primary election during a presidential election year. Live in the Election Alert Center tonight, I am Hannah McKenzie.
Hannah, thank you. And one of the biggest local races tonight is for the Osceola County Sheriff.
The current sheriff there, Marcos Lopez, is declaring victory. He was up against a crowded field with 3 other opponents, including former Sheriff Russ Gibson. Lopez got 37% of the vote and hangs on to the job. Fox 35's Stephanie Buffamonte is in Kissimmee tonight. So, Stephanie, what's the sheriff saying about his win?
Yeah, so I have the sheriff with me right now, but first I just want to show you we still have a lively crowd here at his watch party as Sheriff Marcos Lopez claims victory in this primary tonight. How are you feeling?
I feel good. A little tired, but I'm glad that we came out of the primary, and we're going to continue to work hard to come out victorious in November.
What would you like voters to know ahead of November?
Just that I appreciate the support that they've given us. Let them know that we're going to continue to work hard and keep improving and working on bettering everything that we've done so far. And we're going to continue to keep violent crime down. They can just trust that we're going to do the job that they elected us in to do until November and forever. As long as they want us here, we will do our job.
Well, Sheriff, thank you so much for your time and congratulations. We really do appreciate it. For now, we will send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, thanks a lot, Stephanie. And now let's take a look at the biggest statewide race. Senator Rick Scott easily moves on to the November ballot. He grabbed more than 84% of the votes. The bigger story, though, is Debbie McCursell-Powell. She's the Democrat who will now be facing Senator Scott in November. She got 69% of the vote, easily beating out 3 others. Now, this is going to be a race to watch in November because McCursell-Powell is getting a lot of support from Democrats up in Washington, D.C. The latest polls from Florida Atlantic University and Main Street Research has the Senator Scott up by only 4% among likely voters. He leads, as you see right there, 47% to 43%.
Incumbent Republican U.S. Representative Michael Waltz is headed to the November ballot as well after retaining the seat against challenger John Groh. Waltz will face Democratic challenger James Stockton in the general election.
Republican incumbent Congressman Corey Mills also won his primary easily with more than 80% of the vote. He was facing off against Mike Johnson. Mills will now face Democrat Jennifer Adams in November. She handily beat both of her challengers with more than 63% of the vote.
And Republican Congressional Representative Daniel Webster is also claiming victory tonight. He gathered more than 54,000 votes to beat John McCloy. He will go up against Democrat candidate Barbie Hardin-Hall come November.
All right, big race to watch as we head to November is the state attorney's race in Orange and Osceola counties. Now, this one's a bit complicated. Seth Hyman secured the Republican nomination for the 9th Judicial Circuit, so he's now going to face the incumbent Andrew Bain. Bain ran as a no-party affiliation candidate, but also in the race is Democrat Monique Worrell. You may remember that Bain replaced Worrell after Governor DeSantis removed her from office.
The Seminole County Supervisor of Elections, Chris Anderson, loses tonight in a vicious battle for that nomination.
Anderson claims that he was railroaded and was set up to lose. So here are the numbers. The incumbent Republican Anderson with 40% of the vote, and his opponent Amy Pinnock wins with 60%, and she will face a Democratic challenger coming up in November. Fox 35's Manny Martinez is speaking with Anderson tonight, and Manny, he's pretty fired up.
He was, John. There was a lot of controversy surrounding this race, especially in the last few days. Both candidates, though, say they are relieved. However, tonight, that's for different reasons. And that next race is the general election. Pinnock takes on the lone Democrat in the race. There wasn't a primary on that side. That's Deborah Pulalian. And Anderson says that his office has a job to do still in November to make sure that that election runs smoothly. Live in Lake Mary, Manny Martinez, Fox 35 News.
Manny, thank you. Happening right now, a live look at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. It is a star-studded evening, including former President and First Lady Barack and Michelle Obama. Well, traditionally, opposing candidates stay out of the spotlight during their opponent's convention, but not former President Donald Trump. We're going to take you to his counter rally coming up in our next half hour.
And Fox 35 is your local election headquarters, and you can find live updates to all the races across the state and county by county listed on our website. Just go to fox35orlando.com. Also, a developing story tonight, deadly driveway mystery. Neighbors hear an explosion, then see a car engulfed in flames in Orange County.
And deputies say a woman was found dead inside that charred vehicle. Fox 35's Chris Lindsay is joining us live near Dr. Phillips tonight with the very latest. Chris.
Yes, it's been about 8 hours since this all happened, and since then dozens of loved ones have stopped by the home to comfort one another. I spoke with several of them, and each of them just too emotional to do an interview tonight. The family tells me detectives have yet to release the believed cause of the fire. They tell me there are a few other steps they have to take before they can officially determine that, and they're expecting some more information in the coming days. Reporting live in Orlando, Chris Lindsay, Fox 35 News.
Chris, thank you. Fox 35 News at 10 is just getting started.
Yeah, it was another big night for the Lake Mary All-Stars in the Little League World Series. And Kelsey Cairns joins us live because the Field of Dreams is alive and well. Kelsey?
Yes, that much is very true. And honestly, Lake Mary won again. That's it. That's the tease. It really doesn't need any more story there. But we did speak with some people right here behind me at Friendly Confines Bar who were so excited to watch tonight's big game. I'll have all the details coming up next and some highlights. Keep it here.
Plus, everyone and your mom tells you to cut down on salt. Well, now the government may be doing it for you. The new recommendation that could impact your favorite foods.
Then coming up at 10:45, maybe having your dog do your homework isn't the worst idea after all. How the family pet can help your kids get better grades. Plus, here's Noah.
All right, those rain chances are really ramping up over the next few days. 80% coverage on Thursday and Friday. I'll walk you through the updated hour-by-hour forecast right after this. All right, in the tropics, some good news. Nothing new is expected to have any chance of development over the next 7 days in the Gulf, the Caribbean, and the entire Atlantic Ocean. That will change around Labor Day weekend. We'll talk about it coming up.
That ball is laced to left field. Is it enough? Oh, it's more than enough. A three-run home run from deep.
And with that, Lake Mary Mary remains in the Little League World Series. They just beat a team from New York.
Yeah, now this is double elimination in this tournament, and Lake Mary has one loss, so they're playing for their lives the rest of the way. Fox 35's Kelsey Cairns is live at the watch party at Friendly Confines tonight. So that home run, Kelsey, the fans had to be so excited when that happened tonight.
Yeah, not only the fans, but your Fox 35 crew that was watching it live right behind us here at the bar. The whole bar was erupting. That was so exciting. Yeah, as you mentioned, they did take on New York this evening. So let's replay that clip one more time. You got to see this if you missed it. I love that. Well, what this means moving forward for tomorrow, Lake Mary will face off against Hawaii tomorrow. That game starts at 7 o'clock, and you can count on Fox 35 to bring you live updates from that game tomorrow night. Reporting live in Seminole County this evening, I'm Kelsey Cairns, Fox 35 News.
Oh, that was so fun to watch. Kelsey, thank you. Well, this week, the chance of rain is going up here in Central Florida, and you can also expect lots of rain and lightning. Fox 35 storm team meteorologist Noah Bergeron is tracking it all closely.
Okay, so big storms, what, upwards 3 to 5 inches this week, Noah?
Exactly right, John, and it's probably Thursday and Friday. We're going to have a lot of storms out there, and I think it'll be about 80 to 90% of the area seeing rain. Let's get you outside right now. Here's the live view with our exclusive Fox 35 radar in Orange County. I see that blue sweep there. Things are quiet tonight. Here's the rain today. A lot of people saw rain, but it really wasn't much in the grand scheme of things. Green on here is a ½ inch to an inch. Yellow is once you start getting up there about 2 inches plus. Notice we had some spots, southern Osceola County, right here got over 2, but really it was kind of minor rain today in most spots. Temperature did get to 96. Daytona Beach 97 today. Melbourne's a new daily record for Brevard County. Temperatures out there now are in the 70s to near 80. Tomorrow similar, low to mid 90s. A lot more clouds though, and a lot more storms relative to today. Temperatures right now, a huge cold front in the east United States that's ramming into our tropical air mass in Florida, which is what will increase our storm chances Wednesday night through Friday night as we go forward, and that's what we had out there earlier. So here's that temperature forecast. I want you to notice all this cooler air sinking down. I mean, it'll be in the 40s and 50s across the Ohio Valley up into New England and the Northeast Thursday morning. All that cool air runs into the tropical air over Florida, and that is what will really ramp up those storm chances Thursday into Friday. So here we go into Wednesday. Notice noon, 2 o'clock, some storms, especially I-4 and east. Not a ton tomorrow, but more than today. A couple of them will linger into the evening hours. It's really Thursday in particular. I think we'll have a ton of storms out there, a ton of downpours. Here's 6 in the morning. Notice they'll start Tampa Bay, Citrus County. They come in. 11 in the morning. Here's noon, right around the metro, the theme parks, the villages, Ocala, pushing to the east at 1 o'clock. These storms will have tremendous lightning with them because the upper atmosphere on Thursday will be more unstable than it normally is. So even for Florida, the storms on Thursday will have a ton of lightning with them. Could be a few severe storm warnings, but the risk for that's not really all that high. Some showers will linger through Thursday afternoon and evening. That's something kind of similar on Friday, except Friday the flow kind of switches from the south, and we'll get more of the storms that'll move from south to north on Friday. Here's 3 o'clock. Notice a lot of storms for your Friday evening. So here's 6 if you have dinner plans, things outside. I do think Friday evening, a lot of downpours and storms out there. So the idea is tomorrow, a handful west to east. Thursday, a ton moving west to east. And Friday, a ton, except they'll move from south to north. And then once we get into the weekend, the storms will move from east to west. So if you're a race fan, have plans to be at Daytona on Saturday. Despite this saying 60%, I'm actually quite confident and quite optimistic the race should be absolutely fine when the green flag drops, because those storms will be moving away from Volusia County during the afternoon. 89 on Sunday, 91 next Monday. Then temperatures will slowly climb back into the mid-90s towards the middle part of next week.
Noah, thank you, sir. Well, coming up here on Fox 35 News at 10, 250,000 vehicles are hitting the brakes for a recall.
Yeah, the problem some BMW owners should know about and what you need to do if you are affected.
And from Kentucky to Florida, a stolen U-Haul's wild ride ends more than 700 miles away right here in Central Florida. And here are a few more election results tonight from local school board races.
It's the final game of the preseason.
Lawrence looking deep in the end zone. Touchdown!
The Jags take on the Falcons live. Friday night at 7 on Fox 35.
Got a consumer alert tonight. BMW recalling nearly 250,000 vehicles over an issue with the water pump. We're told that the water pumps on these impacted vehicles do not seal correctly, which could lead to a short circuit or, in rare cases, a fire. 14 models of crossovers and sedans are all affected. BMW will notify owners by mail, and then the dealers will replace the faulty connector for free.
In Marion County, this man is accused of driving under the influence and refusing to pull over. When the deputy finally caught up with him, the struggle wasn't over, so the deputy had to tase him. Take a look.
Now get on the ground. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. On your stomach. Now. On your stomach.
Why am I being...
I'm going to tase you again if you don't get on your stomach. You ready? Get on your stomach. Listen.
Call the police, please. Call them. I didn't do anything. I swear to God. Put your hands behind your back.
Deputies say they spotted Brian Bennett swerving while driving on East Fort King Street around 2 o'clock in the morning. Bennett allegedly only stopped when he got to his own driveway. When he got out of the truck, Bennett said that he was calling his lawyer, and deputies told him to put down his phone, but they say he wouldn't listen. During the interaction, Bennett said he had a heart problem and was mentally ill. He was checked out by medics, and they said he was good. So, inside the truck, deputies say they found a cold can of Twisted Tea.
FHP is investigating 2 crashes involving tractor trailers this afternoon. Apologize, that's the wrong video right there. Now, these crashes happened near each other on I-4 in Volusia County, backing up traffic for hours. Did have a view from Sky Fox earlier. See if we have that one. Sky Fox did give us a view. Okay, we'll have more on that story coming up here in just a little bit. All right, well, it is Election Day, and we're going to be breaking down more of the election results of some of the big state races for the House and the Senate.
Plus, former President Donald Trump ignoring the tradition of staying out of the spotlight during the other party's national convention. His campaign to counter topics discussed at the DNC.
Fox 35 is your election primary headquarters. We have results from more than 200 races all across Central Florida.
Yeah, let's get over to Fox 35's Hannah McKenzie. She is joining us live from the Election Alert Center tonight with more results. Hi, Hannah.
Hey there, guys. Well, as we mentioned at the top of the newscast, the real winners tonight seem to be the folks already in office. Barring a few exceptions, incumbents have run away with primary night, some even being declared winners of their entire race. Geraldine Thompson is keeping her seat as state senator for District 15. District 15 covers the north and northwest part of Orange County. Thompson beat out Democratic challenger Randolph Bracey and has no Republican challengers. Moving to Florida's 25th Senate district now, which includes part of Osceola County, Kristen Arrington was able to secure 51% of the vote and will be the Democratic pick on the November ticket. She beat out former Congressman Alan Grayson. And Republican Jose Martinez secured 59% of the vote and will face off against Arrington on the November ballot. Randy Fine is yet another incumbent headed to the November ballot. He is from Brevard County and was able to secure more than 39,000 votes. One small surprise, though, is the results for the loss of former state senator Linda Stewart. She was only able to bring in 35% of the vote in the race for the Orange County Commission District 3 seat. Maya Uribe is the top vote getter tonight there with almost 10,000 votes. And taking a wider look at one of the big races around our state, U.S. Representative Matt Gaetz is headed to the November ballot after taking down Aaron Dimmick on the District 1 GOP primary. He will now face off against Democrat Gay Valamont for a seat in Washington. We do have plenty more results scrolling across the bottom of your screen right now, and of course over on our website, fox35orlando.com. Live in the Election Alert Center tonight, I am Hannah McKenzie.
Hannah, thank you much. Well, right now, Sanford police need your help identifying the person who broke into this car. The suspect used the phone flashlight to look into the windows and find an unlocked vehicle back on August 13th. Police say this should be a reminder to all of us to lock our vehicles. If you have any information on who this is, you're being asked to call Sanford Police.
Also new tonight in Flagler County, see something, say something led to the arrest of a fugitive. On Sunday night, Flagler County deputies got a call about a suspicious person and a car blocking traffic in Bunnell. Deputies found Brandon Partain driving and then attempted to stop him. As deputies tried to detain him, he got back in the car and drove away. Deputies found the car abandoned nearby, and that is when a witness called about a shirtless man running through their yard. Partain was found, then arrested, and now faces several charges, including grand theft. He was also wanted in Georgia on drug charges. Well, the man behind the wheel of a stolen U-Haul is caught near Ocala.
According to deputies, that U-Haul was originally reported stolen up in Kentucky. That's about 700 miles away from where it was found in Bellevue. Fox 35's Garrett Weimer has the story. There will not be a special session up in Tallahassee to address the so-called condo crisis, a new law that is meant to keep people safe after that deadly Surfside condo collapse in South Florida is now costing some owners tens of thousands of dollars. The law says condos 3 stories or taller must be inspected once they reach 30 years old. The new law works like this. If an assessment on your building reveals you're going to need a new roof in 10 years, and it will cost around $100,000 to fix, your HOA has to build that money up in their reserve funds over the course of the next 10 years. But if there are 20 people in your building, that means you would pay about $40 extra each month. Here's the catch. If the inspection reveals your building needs that new roof immediately, well, suddenly you owe your HOA an extra $5,000, like right now. One real estate attorney says the costs of the new law comes on top of other problems as well.
The cost of insurance in Florida for condominium associations has gone up anywhere from 30 to 50% to, in some cases, 300%.
The Condominium Advisory Group suggests people start going to their HOA meetings and making their voices heard.
The city of Kissimmee says it might have a solution to flooding problems in some of the neighborhoods in that town. Neighbors on Lindell Drive say that the flooding gets bad anytime it rains, or especially when a hurricane passes through. So the Public Works Department there and engineers confirmed this week that they are working on a fix. Lindell Drive is set to get upgrades to its drainage system. Work is tentatively set to start in early September. In nearby Bermuda Estates, they're expected to get an upgraded stormwater system with new pipes and drains. That construction is expected to begin sometime between September and October.
We're all getting fed up with it, and we'll believe it when the job finally, if it gets done.
The city says it got about $250,000 from the state to do that project.
In our You Decide coverage tonight, during a political national convention, it's usually customary for the nominee of the other party to stay out of the spotlight.
But former President Donald Trump is ignoring that tradition. He was in the battleground state of Michigan today, and Fox 35's Aisha Hasni has more details on his rally. Well, the federal government says it wants to trim sodium levels in processed foods by about 20%. The FDA wants to see sodium intake down significantly over the next 3 years. And fast food chains would also be affected by these goals. The FDA is seeking voluntary cooperation from major food makers to help achieve those levels.
An official from the World Health Organization says the viral infection Mpox is not the new COVID. Right now, that disease is spreading in Africa and parts of Europe. Mpox symptoms include soreness to the body and symptoms similar to the flu. It is typically mild, but it can be deadly in some cases. Health officials say they are working to control the spread of the virus right now. Europe is recording about 100 new cases each month. Still ahead, these tech-savvy pups are not just cute, they're also homework heroes. The Florida schools discovering the future of learning with the friendliest avatars around.
And the FBI is warning you to pause before you act. What they want you to know about the next phase of online fraud and why the crooks seem to be getting better at it.
And we are saving you some cash tonight with the Fox 35 Pump Patrol. Look at this. Gas is $3.08 a gallon. Not bad at the 7-Eleven on West Colonial Drive in Winter Garden. We'll be right back.
There's the old excuse that your dog ate your homework. And in this world of AI, well, maybe your dog can help you out because these two dogs right here are on the cutting edge of technology.
Yeah, they're at the center of what could be a whole new way to teach kids in the classroom and help them with their homework. Fox 35's Lloyd Sowers explains.
Happening right now, the FBI is launching a nationwide campaign urging the public to act with caution when it comes to potentially fraudulent offers. The new effort is called Take a Beat campaign. FBI statistics show that Americans have already lost $1.6 billion from January to May of this year. That's about $300,000 more than the same time period last year. The Better Business Bureau says scammers like to send texts because you're more likely to respond quickly. The texts pretend to be an organization or a bank saying something is about to expire or saying that you owe money and need to pay a bill now. This leads you to call the number or click on a link. The BBB says while text scams aren't new, scammers' messages are getting more savvy, which is why it's important to just slow down and think about it.
A lot of people act upon fear. They're worried about either their safety, their money. If they claim that there's fraud going on, they're worried about their accounts. So absolutely, they're going to act. And in a lot of cases, that's when the identity theft happens, or that's when the bank account gets drained.
To prevent fraud, the FBI says you should search online for the sender's information email or that phone number to see if it's even legitimate.
Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Noah Berggren is back with us tonight.
All right, so what are you tracking out there this week?
Not much, guys, in the tropics, I should tell you that. Pretty uncommon, not rare, but it's uncommon to have this time of the year with nothing on the horizon for the next week to week and a half. What is on our horizon is some storm chances for the next few days. Let me show you the forecast Saturday. If you're a race fan like myself, this is a big weekend of the year. At Daytona, temperatures in the mid-80s. Now, this is a classic Florida August day. A couple of storms mid-afternoon, really high humidity, heat index to about 96 in Daytona at about lunchtime on Saturday. But the storms Saturday that do pop up will be moving from east to west. So in other words, away from Volusia County. So even if there are storms that pop, they'll be moving away from the speedway. So to be honest, I'm pretty optimistic and I wouldn't be worried at all if you were going. I think the chances are kind of low for there to be impacts to the race start time. While I won't rule it out, it seems pretty unlikely given the motion of those storms. So here's the setup over the next few days. A front just kind of stalls over the state, and there'll be a little wave of low pressure that just sits over the Gulf and shoots thunderstorms from south to northeast, or southwest to northeast around the base of it. And it's in this area where there's very high moisture for showers and storms. Notice not as much on the north side of this front across the deep south. Then as we go into Friday, the front starts to fall apart, and going into the weekend, we'll get more of a southeast to northwest wind, and that's why we'll have the showers and storms move the other way, but still very high amounts of humidity in the atmosphere for rain. So here's how things look tomorrow. Notice some storms midday, again moving from west to east across the peninsula. I don't really think there's any chance of anything severe for tomorrow. Going into Thursday, a low risk, maybe a severe storm warning or two here or there. Here's 11 in the morning, I-75. Here's noon, the Metro. Here's 1, the Space Coast, Volusia. And these will be tremendous downpours. Lots of lightning, maybe some small hail Thursday afternoon and evening. A couple of showers linger Thursday overnight. They're going into Friday, some sunshine to start. Here's 8 o'clock in the morning. Notice the storms Friday still are moving a little bit to the east, but they'll be more south to north. South to northeast, something like that. You kind of get the idea out there for Friday afternoon and evening. All right, the tropics quickly. There's all the storms we've had so far this year, A through E. I should also mention, I was just looking at some modeling for the tropics. Pretty rare, and this will probably be moving up in the news. You'll be hearing about this over the next few days, starting tomorrow, I think. One of these may hit Hawaii this weekend. The Big Island doesn't get tropical systems often. They may get one Saturday into Sunday. So that'll be big news in the eastern and central Pacific, but in the Atlantic, it's just dead quiet. Nothing for the next week to a week and a half, but I do think Some waves that are in Central Africa that you can't see on the satellite. Once they get into the Central Atlantic heading into Labor Day weekend, I do think we'll have a really good chance to develop. So around Labor Day weekend, there should be something out there we'll have to start watching. Francine is the next name up. So 94 tomorrow with those storms, and then higher chances for storms and showers Thursday and Friday, with rain chances currently sitting at 80%.
All right, Noah, thank you. Still to come here on Fox 35 News at 10, a local county is working to bring back film incentives.
Plus, a snack designed for space. How this chip is designed for astronauts to not make a mess while also giving back to a charity.
But before we head to break, you are taking a live look over downtown Chicago. The Democratic National Convention is underway right now, and former President Barack Obama is set to speak any minute. We'll keep you updated coming up on the late news at 11. Developing tonight, there's a push to bring back film incentives to Orange County.
Florida ended its incentive program back in 2016, but now a local effort is underway once again to try and draw films back here to Orange County. Several production companies actually left the state and moved their operations to Georgia. Local leaders say that Florida could be missing out on over $1 billion in revenue by not having the film incentives. Well, today was the first meeting for this group that has the task of evaluating opportunities.
Florida used to be the #3 destination in America for production. It isn't now because a lot of economic incentives from other states are just doing a much better job than Florida is right now. And so, too often people just assume that with nice weather and nice locations, that's good enough. But it's a business, and businesses go where they get the best return on investment. And right now, Florida is not that, and that's what we're trying to change.
The next public meeting for this Orange County Film Incentive Work Group is on Wednesday, September the 11th.
The antitrust lawsuit grows against Ticketmaster's parent company. An updated lawsuit against Live Nation now includes a total of 39 states and the District of Columbia. The lawsuit claims the company has monopolized the concert ticket industry. It says Live Nation controls about 80% of major concert venues' primary ticketing for concerts through its ownership of Ticketmaster. The original case calls for Live Nation to break from Ticketmaster and now includes 26 states seeking damages from overcharges for their residents.
Also trending right now, there's a new tortilla chip specifically created for space. The limited edition Cool Ranch Zero Gravity chips are designed to keep cheese dust and crumbs from floating away. The chips will actually be on board the Polaris Dawn mission. Doritos partnered with St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital for the release. They'll be making a $500,000 donation to the hospital. I don't know how that works.
I don't know. It's in my head. I'm like, it's going to float no matter what you do. But
I don't know what you do.
It works. Well, the late news at 11 is coming up next.
And Fox 35's Hannah McKenzie continues our coverage in just minutes.